What is happening, everyone? Welcome to GBALL VISION. Today we are going to be talking about some of my favorite production knives of 2023. So just a general list. There won't be a limit or a cap on how much the knife costs. It's going to be a general video of just some of my favorite production knives to come out in 2023. And I thought it fitting to kind of start with the Vosteed RS Chaos, formerly known as the Vosteed Mayhem. Now, this one in particular, you should have seen the unboxing on this guy. This is the White Mountain Knives exclusive Wharncliffe version in LMAX. If you remember, or if you know, the originals came out in M390. Definitely, for me, I prefer the LMAX, but both will be just fantastic. I've had two of these in, and one was a sheep's foot, one was a Wharncliffe. Both absolutely fantastic. Razor sharp edges right out of the box. Nice finish on the blade. Both of them. Very comfortable handle. Nice full length back spacer. Nice pocket clip. Little pop of color with the pivot collars. The original ones I think had copper. Nice little finger choil there that I can actually get pretty much a whole finger in there. Very comfortable, very fidgety, and an incredibly useful blade shape. Love the Vosteed RS Chaos. This is a game changer, and it's a knife that I've had trouble putting down. Let's go ahead and get to the next one. Next up, we got a more budget-ended knife. Well, in the middle of affordable and mid-tier prices, we have the Bridgeport 395 version 2, and I gotta say, guys, this has been one of my favorite knives to carry most of 2023. This thing is just incredibly well done. 20 CV on the steel, nice, useful blade shape, kind of a cross between a drop point and a modified sheep's foot, somewhere in the middle of one of those two. You got a nice cutout, dual thumb studs, great access to the liner with a nice big chamfer. Great job on that. Some nice micarta. They also did a different micarta and some carbon fibers. I like the natural with the hole and stud combo. I believe they did just some hole combos and just some stud combos. So a couple different flavors. Love the nice milled clip there, titanium back spacer, just a nice little package. I think these came in around like $120 for this variant, somewhere in that ballpark, the low hundreds. So not really a budget or affordable knife, quote unquote, but just past that line, kind of depending on where you draw that line. But for like 120-ish, 130, somewhere in that ballpark, this is a fantastic deal. 20 CV, micarta, titanium accents, very hard to beat with that great blade shape. This has been a fantastic user for me since I unboxed this knife. It's been one of my favorite knives all year to carry, and it has held up extremely well. And he also has a little bit different, it's a different model, but it looks similarly to this knife here. It's a little bigger. Definitely also looks like a great candidate. I will probably pick up one of those if I can. They look amazing. If it's anything like this, but it's a little bigger, that is going to be right up my alley. The Bridgeport 395, one of my favorites of the year. Let's go ahead and get to the next one. And here we got one from Kaiser and Dam Designs. This came out early 2023. I want to say like February-ish, maybe even January. I think it was February though. And I still remember getting this knife on like a Sunday morning and unboxing it and just absolutely falling in love with this thing. It's got a nice tanto blade shape coming in 154 with their standard tumble finish, but it's nice and low. A nice low tanto with a usable secondary edge, a hollow going to your primary edge. You have a nice finger choil there for a full choke up, and this thing is extremely comfortable. If you like this design and you like button locks, the micarta is fantastic. You know, you have Kaiser's fit and finish, Kaiser's button lock. I mean, and Damn Designs touch on this thing as, you know, co-designers. Just a great knife all around. Flipper tab is done extremely well. Love this thing, whether you want to push button it, light switch it, use the button, does not matter. The micarta is just incredibly well done. This thing actually deserves a titanium clip. I'll have to see about maybe getting one on there, but the Mad Tanto from Kaiser and Damn Designs, definitely one of my favorite knives of the year. For the price, like $70, $80, somewhere in that ballpark. Just a fantastic value, a great user, and it is definitely fidgety as all hell. Let's go ahead and get to the next one. So this next one is even more budget than the last two. We have the Petrified Fish Viking. I remember seeing this online, and I was like, ooh, I got to check that out. It's coming in Bowler K110 steel. You have this nice, like, straight back, almost straight back, clip point, drop point style of blade. Not really a drop point. Definitely more of like a straight clip back almost. And let me tell you guys something. This thing is pokey. I mean, extremely pokey, and it came with an incredible edge on it from Petrified Fish. Nice micarta. I went with the blue here and the black accents. The black wash on the blade is very well done. It's washed and it's still shiny, so I don't know exactly how they went about with that process. You have a nice, useful front flipper tab and a fuller for deployment that can definitely be accessed for the reverse flick and the thumb flick. Might take you a little practice, but can definitely get the job done. And it's fidgety once you learn the controls of this thing. The front flipper tab is very well done. It definitely catches you when you go to front flip it, no matter which way you're doing it. Even the reach around is extremely easy because that comes straight up and then goes straight back down. It is easy to flip this guy as I mess it up. Very comfortable ergos, great access to the liner, chamfer, internal milling for weight relief. Just a fantastic knife coming in right around the $40 price point or so. The Petrified Fish Viking is definitely a winner for 2023. Let's go ahead and get to the next one. So this next one has been a fan favorite throughout the year since they were released. The Miguron Moyero, an affordable everyday carry knife coming in right around the $45 to $50 mark. Sometimes they probably can be had for a little under $45 if you catch them at the right time. I have seen them down around like $43, $4, and that's incredible. For 14C 28N, nicely finished G10, titanium hand pocket clip, a nice matching backspacer with your scales made out of G10, steel liners, some internal milling done in there for weight relief. It's square pockets, good access to the liner with a chamfer, under $50. A fantastic EDC knife. Great ergos. You can choke up, get right up on that tip, get right up on the edge. just a great knife from Miguron, and if they continue to do what they did in 2023 and 2024, Miguron is coming. Mark my words. I've said it before. I think I said it last year as well, and they definitely proved me right this year. From $40 to, up to like $200, they have done a fantastic job. Definitely one of my highest recommendations of the year, the Miguron Moyero. You'd be crazy to think that I won't put at least one EMP EDC on this list. And the relative coming out this year, the Ronin. John at EMP EDC, the designer there, is awesome and just continues to do a fantastic job on holding these companies up to a certain standard and getting the best out of these OEMs, QSP and Best Tech. Just a fantastic job. Magna Cut, clip point, hollow ground, thin as hell. Great finish on the blade there. Love this blade shape. I think it is extremely useful for slicing, poking, piercing type tasks. This could be used in a ton of different roles. It's extremely comfortable. This has a Mokume pocket clip from EMP EDC. This also has titanium matching accents. This one is number 002 of the Magna Cut run. This is one of my favorite knives ever. Love this knife in Magna Cut, the EMP EDC relative. This one had to make this list as well, the Civivi Vision FG. I remember when it was first kind of teased, and a lot of people, there wasn't much chatter about it. There was a little bit, the excitement from some that a more affordable version was coming out on the Civivi line opposed to the WE Knives line of the Vision. But when this came out, and it took a few days, but once these came out, the rage was on. These were sold out very quickly. Some content creators who got them early did some raving about them, and some, didn't. But I think the consensus was most people, not all, but a lot of the people that I talked to, that I listened to, preferred the Civivi version over the other version due to a couple of things. Mainly the lock being, there's no way to pull the super lock out of the Civivi version, where the WE version, you could pull the bar out, although maybe not an issue on the WE versions, but I think some people, found not to be so trusting, in that. I would prefer this, the captive lock, if you will. I'm pretty sure. Not handling the WE version, I'm sure the quality is there. The other thing was the pocket clip is now on the back side instead, on the normal clip side instead of being on the spine of the knife, which I would definitely prefer. I'd have some stuff with the pocket clip on the spine. Although in some cases it works fairly well, other cases not so much. Definitely would prefer it where it's supposed to be. I think it would depend on application, what the item is. Is it a pry bar, a knife? What is it? I think that depends as well. But this is a fantastic EDC knife in itself. This one is coming in Nitro V. I don't know if we'll be able to pull it up there on the camera or not. Nitro V, you can kind of see it there below the fuzz. Designed by Snex, OEM by Civivi, and WE also. I put a milled clip on here. You have a hidden lanyard loop there. Micarta is well done. They also did G10 versions of this thing. But I think a lot of people across anywhere that can buy knives was a huge fan of this knife. There was some people who didn't like it or preferred the Wii version, but I think the majority went with liking this one more. The EDC Vision FG. Let's get to the next one. So I was blown away by Migron and AM8 quite a bit this year. Basically from the start of the year up until now. Migron, like I said earlier with the Moyero, they have nailed it all year from the $40, $50 range all the way up to getting close to $300. Now, this is AM8's, which is Migron's sister company, same company, the Flix 2. This thing is coming in S90V. You have a high polished, sandblasted drop point blade. This thing came with a great edge. The cutout is very comfortable, easy to disengage whether you want to thumb flick it, reverse flick it. Now I saw some people have an issue with the thumb and the reverse flick. Some people, it might take practice. As soon as I unboxed this, I could reverse flick it and thumb flick it out. It's just a matter of getting the meat of your finger on that little ridge there. And once you do that, you can just easily flick it out. Same with the thumb. The front flipper is done extremely well. It reminds me of a Ray Laconico front flipper like we've seen on the Sakoki, like we've seen on the Echo, kind of reminiscent of that front flipper. There's only so many ways to do a front flipper. I don't know that this is, Ray Laconico's trademarked front flipper, so to speak, but it's reminiscent of how he does his. You have these milled titanium bolsters that just look fantastic. Infused copper carbon fiber for your secondary inlays here. Fairly minimal hardware. You have a titanium semi-geared clip there. Milled titanium clip. This thing is fantastic. It comes in under $200. Great access to the lock bar. A nice chamfer. It is a bolster lock, so you don't have the fully exposed lock there. Just a fantastic EDC knife, and this knife will go to the end of the year as one of my favorite under $200 knives of the entire year. This value here and the price tag is just impeccable stuff. Full finger choil for a nice choke up behind the edge. You can get right up on that tip because of that nice finger choil there. Just a fantastic knife. And this is probably my favorite AM8 Migron of the year. And I bought quite a few of them this year, from budget to more expensive, I guess you could say. And this is my favorite one, I have to say. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Let me know what your favorite knives of 2023 have been up until this point. The year is not over. There's more knives to come. This is kind of just an update, so to speak, on some of my favorite knives of the year. This has no meaning as far as the final knives of the year that are in certain categories. This was just a generalization of a few knives that I was really impressed with throughout the year in a variety of different price points. Hit the thumbs up. Let me know what you think down in the comments. And if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button down below the video. Or if you've been here before, hit that subscribe button. Love to have you here. Otherwise, guys, I will catch you on the next one.